They laughed at her because she was the janitor's daughter, but the entire bank froze when the billionaire offered 90% ownership if she could fix what his experts couldn't. Under the glare of cameras, Nova Carter faced screens bleeding red with errors while her mother stood in silence, bracing for humiliation. Yet behind trembling fingers was a mind sharper than every consultant in the room. Would the girl they dismissed rewrite the fate of an empire? The boardroom at Lang National Bank shook with tension as monitors across the trading floor bled red with error codes. Reporters whispered, cameras clicked, and Victor Lang's voice cracked like a whip. 3 tech firms failed me, he barked, his finger stabbing the air toward the janitor's daughter crouched beside her mother's mop bucket. And you think a child can fix what my experts could not? Prove it. Repair this system before the press leaves, and I'll sign over 90% of this bank to your name. Fail, and your mother will never work in New York again. The words landed like chains, heavy and humiliating. Nova Carter's knuckles whitened against her sketchbook, her mother's eyes dropped in quiet shame. For a heartbeat, silence held the room. Then a cruel laugh rose from the bankers' seats, slicing through her resolve. Nova's chest tightened as lines of red code continued to race across the giant screens. One banker muttered just loud enough for the press to catch, "She's just a janitor's kid, she can't even spell algorithm." Laughter rippled, sharp and poisonous. Her mother's hand trembled on her shoulder, whispering, "Nova, let's just go." Nova stared at the floor, heat rising in her cheeks, until her grandfather's voice echoed in memory, "Every problem is a lock, kiddo. And you've spent your life drawing keys." She lifted her chin. "Show me the terminal." The room stilled. Victor smirked, leaning back in his leather chair. "You want to embarrass yourself on camera? Fine." He gestured to the keyboard, daring her to touch it. Fingers shaking, Nova slid into the seat. The keys were greasy, oversized, the kind built for men twice her size. Her heart pounded, but she typed anyway, words spilling in quick bursts. Bankers sneered, crossing their arms, but a few reporters leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Something was shifting. The error alarms shrieked louder, every monitor flashing scarlet. Victor slammed his palm against the desk. "See? Even the bank itself mocks you." His words drew a nervous chuckle from the crowd. Nova's hands froze above the keys, her breath caught in her throat. For a moment, doubt clawed at her. Then she spotted it, rows of code repeating like a stuttered heartbeat. "It's not a crash," she said, voice steady now. "It's a loop." The bankers scoffed, but one reporter whispered, "She sees something." Dr. Elena Ruiz, the bank's consultant, stepped closer, frowning. Nova highlighted the duplicated strings and began rewriting them, her small fingers dancing with precision. The system beeped once, twice, and then half the screens turned green. Gasps erupted. Victor's smirk faltered. A coincidence. Nothing more. Ruiz shook her head. "No. That's core-level debugging. She just solved what 3 firms missed." The press roared, cameras flashing as Victor's face drained of color. The girl he mocked was dismantling his empire line by line. For a long beat, no one moved. The trading floor hummed under the sudden silence, broken only by the soft clatter of Nova's keystrokes. One by one, the red screens bled into green, until the last error vanished. The room erupted in shouts, reporters surging forward, microphones thrust toward her face. Victor shot to his feet, voice booming. "This is outrageous. She's a child, not an engineer." Nova didn't flinch. "Your childlike arrogance almost crashed this bank. I just stopped it." The crowd reacted with a sharp intake of breath. Dr. Ruiz raised her hand, commanding order. "Her correction is precise. The system is stable because of her. That's not chance, that's expertise." The weight of the words sank in. Victor's tie seemed to strangle him as he struggled to speak. His earlier threat hung in the air like smoke, every reporter remembering, 90% ownership. The sneer was gone now, replaced by a clenched jaw and eyes darting to the cameras. The power no longer belonged to him. It had shifted, quietly but completely, into Nova Carter's hands. The contracts were drawn up in stunned silence, pens scratching as Victor's empire slipped away. Cameras flashed when he pushed the papers across the table, his hand trembling. 90%, he muttered, unable to meet her gaze. It's yours. Her mother covered her mouth, tears spilling as the reporters shouted questions. Dr. Ruiz looked directly at Nova. You just prevented a collapse that could have cost billions. The world will remember this. Nova closed the laptop gently, her face calm. I didn't do it for money. I did it because no one listened until it was almost too late. The press conference ended not with Victor's voice, but with the image of a janitor's daughter walking out of a bank she now owned. The city watched, stunned, as power traded hands, not with wealth or threats, but with knowledge, courage, and the quiet insistence that justice could come from anywhere.